Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and now it's time to pick back up the Resident Evil 3 remake. I've already done one episode of a playthrough of that game, and now it's time for part 2. Previously, I kicked off the game by taking control of Jill again for the first time since the very first Resident Evil game, and we had to escape a new big bad monster named Nemesis. After that, we ran into a team of Umbrella operatives, starting off with a new character named Carlos, and we agreed to help them out in order to get survivors out of the city, and the way that we are going to do that is we are going to return power to the subway station. All the survivors are currently in the subway and waiting to use that train in order to get out of the city, but without power, no one is going anywhere. I ended the previous episode having gotten half that job done, returning power to a substation where all the breakers were previously turned off for a deliberate blackout. Now we kick off this episode needing to go to the subway management building to set up the route for the subway train, that way we can go ahead and send it out of town. And my goal is to beat this game with the S+ ranking, which requires me to save no more than 5 times and beat the game in under 2 hours. So let's go ahead and get things started.
Carlos, it's Jill. I've restored power to the subway.
Nice going. Next up is the traffic control system. It should be in the subway company's offices.
Right. I think I know the building.
Really? Way to go, partner. One step ahead.
Not your partner.
We have another big chase from Nemesis coming up here in just a moment. Whenever Jill leaves the substation, he is going to break out of the wall of one of the nearby buildings. So I need to get ready for that, and I want to point out something real quick. This is the general area where he is going to break out of the building to my right. Whenever he breaks out of that building, all the rubble is going to fly towards Jill, and that is going to stun her temporarily. However, you can avoid that. Right here on the ground is going to be a piece of broken concrete that's kind of pointing upward. Now, the exact moment that Jill steps on that concrete is normally when I try to dodge forward. And if I time it right, Jill is going to dodge forward and the rubble is not going to stun her. That will give me a little bit of a head start whenever running away from Nemesis. Getting stunned here makes running away a lot more difficult. Okay, that worked. Now I need to shotgun both these zombies with one shell, then I dodge forward, I switch to the handgun, then I turn around and I wait for Nemesis to get right by the generator. Then I shoot the generator to stun Nemesis a little bit longer. I switch back to the shotgun, shoot this zombie in the leg so she cannot lunge at me and possibly kill me. Then I try to stab this zombie to stun him so I can dodge to the door. It doesn't really work and I barely get away from Nemesis.
Carlos! That thing is still alive! It's after me!
What? Run! Come back to the station!
Not until I get traffic control online.
And okay, this next part is actually going to be kind of tricky because I have to do a couple of different things. For one, whenever I left behind that explosive barrel whenever the zombies broke through the barricade earlier, it is finally time to use that. Because now all those old zombies have kind of despawned and they've been replaced by 2 new zombies. I just stand here and I wait for the zombie by the car to come towards me and lunge at me. And the moment that it lunges at me, I shoot the explosive barrel. I just stand there and let him get close to me up to that point because I want the other zombie to get close as well. Waiting just a moment means both of them should be by the explosive barrel whenever I shoot it, and then that should kill both of them. Next I have to trigger Nemesis to jump into the area, then I immediately run back to the gate and I go on the other side of the door. That will not keep Nemesis away forever, but it does allow me to have a little bit of a buffer between him and me. And using that I break out the Lightning Hawk, and I try to focus my shots as much as I can, and I want to shoot Nemesis until he is eventually stunned and he drops a container. That seems to take me about 4 or 5 bullets, and in this scenario it took me 5. Stunning Nemesis here should give me just enough time to reach the subway management building before he becomes active again. I would much rather not be running from Nemesis the entire stretch of road all the way to that building. And using the gate to stun him also allows me to get an upgrade to my handgun, which is a pretty nice thing to have. I will take the upgrade out of the container in just a moment. First, I really want to focus on getting to the subway management building before Nemesis starts moving again. This next part is a little bit tricky. I want to use one shotgun shell to shoot both of those zombies, so I try to line it up whenever they're both standing right in front of each other. And in this case, it works out just right. I take down one zombie and I stun the other. So one shotgun shell was just enough to get by them, no problem. And now we get to go ahead and set up a subway route.
Carlos, I'm in the control room. Now what?
Nice. Now you gotta plot out a route.
Okay, give me a sec. Alright, where are we headed?
The train is stopped at Redstone Street. We need to reach Fox Park Station. Can you program that in?
Hey, I'm Super Cop. Consider it done.
Valid route confirmed.
Carlos, it's me. I finished inputting the subway route.
Jill, you are amazing. else, too. Hurry back to the station. We'll make sure the subway's ready to depart.
Now for the challenge of getting back to the subway station, which includes another Nemesis chase. First, we need to deal with the zombie that's getting up off the ground, the one we got the grenade off of earlier. I run up to it to shoot it in the legs with a shotgun, but, well, normally that would stun it, but instead it went through the shot and now it's grabbing me, and this is going horrifically wrong. I'm actually a little bit surprised that I managed to button mash my way to survival there. Normally that means I'm going to die. But somehow I still ended up surviving and living long enough to see the sky start opening up and raining down parasite zombies. I just run into Moon's Donuts before they can get up off the ground and actually do anything to me. Then I make use of the storage room in there one more time, considering I had to burn a healing item after getting grabbed. And I just grab 2 green herbs, that way I can heal myself if necessary, and I go outside to face off against Nemesis one more time on the way to the subway. I'm just checking to make sure that I have everything that I need, especially those grenades. They are going to be very important. It looks like I have everything, so let's go ahead and get started.
What the hell was it doing to them?
Gotta be quick, go ahead and shoot the generator to stun Nemesis. And at this point, it's time to turn to the grenades. I go ahead and I use all 3 of them to take down Nemesis. You could try to conserve a grenade and just maybe use some Lightning Hawk ammo after using 2 of them, but I don't really feel like I need the grenades that long term. I feel like there's only one more boss fight where they are really going to be useful, and I'm going to collect a few more grenades by then anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. After taking down Nemesis, I went ahead and picked up the container that he dropped. Then I was free to run unopposed all the way back to the alleyway that we started off in after leaving the subway earlier. Only instead of these zombies that we had to herd around earlier, it's now raining police zombies. I had to shoot one of them in the legs with a shotgun, and after that I tried doing the same thing to a parasite zombie not too far away. Only my aim was a little bit off, and that does not work out for me. I end up taking a little bit of damage, but fortunately I was still able to dodge my way into the subway station. Now that I have a moment of safety, I go ahead and use one of the green herbs to heal up, and now I'm going to go ahead and make use of the decorative boxes and all the upgrades to the handgun that I've got. Opening up the containers that Nemesis dropped reveals the upgrades to the handgun. I immediately add the suppressor to the handgun, but I also have an extended magazine that I could have combined with it. I decide to wait and not combine those two just yet because the extended magazine is going to act like a full reload for your handgun. So ideally you would combine it with your handgun whenever its current magazine is really low. And then you combine the two and it turns out that extended magazine was already loaded to max capacity. The ammunition in the extended magazine does not pull from any other reserves of your ammunition, so it is basically a free reload. That is why I am going to wait to combine those two, and now I take the decorative boxes over to this machine, I start opening them up, and inside each of the decorative boxes is going to be a colorful gem. One by one I put each of those into the machine, that way I can get all the optional items that I wanted. That is going to include an upgrade to the shotgun. It's going to be a stock upgrade. There is also going to be a hand grenade, which I really need after using those 3 earlier, and the other item is going to be a pouch that extends our inventory by 2 spaces. And as we progress, I'm really going to need all the inventory space I can possibly have. All I have left to do is go ahead and pick up that pouch and also combine the stock upgrade to the shotgun. There's also going to be a container nearby that I can lockpick for some more shotgun shells. But with all of that out of the way, all the safety that we've been enjoying, it's time to go ahead and say goodbye to that. It was nice not having to run away from Nemesis for a moment, but well, there is going to be plenty more fleeing away from that monster to come. And something that I did not really mention up to this point is that we are basically at a point of no return. If you did not pick up the optional items like the decorative box before reaching this point, there is no way to go back to them now. So if you want those items, it has to be done prior to this moment.
Nice job, Super Cop. I'm impressed.
We back in business?
Yeah, mostly. But we need 30 to 40 minutes to finish maintenance. Nikolai, how are we doing?
The town's crawling with those freaks. No chance of fighting our way out of the city. Why is she here?
She's helping get the trains running again.
Bad time to start carrying dead weight, Fred. She's unreliable. Can't pull the trigger when it counts.
Hey, take it easy.
She'll get you killed.
Sorry about that. Everyone's a little worked up. Oh, come on. Not again.
It's me he's after.
Hey,
I'll buy you some time.
hey, wait! Wait, Jill! No!
I run up and grab the first aid spray and immediately dodge left.
You want
I find that whenever I pick up that first aid spray is right about the time Nemesis is trying to punch you in the back of the head, so as soon as you grab it, if you dodge, you should be able to do a perfect dodge to the left. And that gives you enough time to get all the way to the next room, which I always check to make sure Nemesis does not get stuck on the door to this room, which happens a lot more than you would think. If that happens, you have to go back and kind of interact with the door to get him to come through it. That does not happen here, but he is kind of just pacing back and forth here. And speaking of getting stuck, Nemesis, are you okay? Oh crap, okay, here we go. Shoot the explosive barrels once he gets close, run up and grab the container that he drops, which is going to contain some shotgun shells. And then, because the explosion stuns Nemesis, you have time to run back to this vent and break through it, and then escape into the next area. If Nemesis got stuck on the door, you could do this no problem, but I kind of really wanted those shotgun shells.
Carlos, do you copy? Carlos! Oh, shit. Oh, I need to find another way out.
Alright, I go ahead and pick up the handgun ammo, the shotgun shells, and the red herb. Then I start dropping off a bunch of my items in the storage box because I need as much inventory space available as possible. On that note, welcome to the sewers. This is an area that's kind of difficult to get used to initially, but once you are used to it, it is by far easier than anything I've done prior to this point. Whenever it comes to getting from my previous save point to my very next one, everything that has happened prior to now being chased by Nemesis, that was the really difficult part that got me killed a bunch of times. Everything from here is much easier and much less likely to get me killed. So anytime I got this far, I felt pretty confident that I had a really good shot of making it to the very next save point. To update you on my inventory choices earlier, I did use one more handgun bullet to blow up Nemesis. That left the magazine really low for the handgun, so I went ahead and used the extended magazine and combined it. That way I got the full reload, and also now my magazine capacity overall is going to be much higher.
Oh, what was that?
Even though I did that, I'm not taking the handgun with me. I went ahead and dropped that off along with the handgun ammo, all of my healing items. I'm basically only moving forward with the shotgun, shotgun shells, combat knife, and the lockpick. That leaves me with just enough inventory space for everything that I need, like that hand grenade that I just picked up. And now we get introduced to the next enemy of the game. This is going to be the Hunter Gamma. Now, the Hunter Gammas are a little bit tricky to get used to, but once you get used to them, they are very easy to get around. Whenever you see their mandible jaws open up and they start coming after you, just continue to back up until they eventually lunge at you. Whenever you see that lunge, dash backwards. Whenever you dash backwards, they should miss you. And whenever you see that, you need to immediately run to the left and go around the Hunter Gamma. You need to make sure that you run to the left. If you run to the right, the Hunter Gamma can still turn around and get you. Which, if they do manage to bite you, is going to be an instant death. Alright, document time. This one is going to be titled Invoice from Gunshop Kendo. Thank you for purchasing the grenade launcher. We've made special adjustments to this piece to ensure compatibility with a variety of ammunition types. For optimal performance, be sure to choose the right ammo for the right situation. As we discussed at the time of purchase, this is a refurbished model, and the chamber needs to be manually cycled between shots. It'll take an extra moment, but this is reflected in the price as agreed. And on the opposite side of the note is going to be a breakdown of explosive powders, which ones, if combined together, make specific 40mm rounds like explosive rounds, flame rounds, acid rounds. The only ones that we can pick up in the game but cannot create with the explosive powders is going to be the mine rounds. So that explains why there was a grenade launcher down here, and it seems like the researchers who are working down here intended to use this against the Hunter Gammas, in the event that the Hunter Gammas ended up getting out of control or something. Luckily that was still around, and now we are happily adding it to the arsenal. Also inside the room was some explosive powder B, and I went ahead and grabbed that as well. I am definitely going to be hoarding a bunch of the explosive powders for the end of the game. And alright, time for the next document, which is going to be the Research Assistance Logs. March 4th, water temperature 18 degrees Celsius, pH level 6.8. Gammas released from tank for the first time. Movements are sluggish, combat potential low. April 18th, water temperature 20 degrees Celsius, pH level 6.8. Experimented with additional hormones and drugs. One adjustment bore positive results, with a significant rise in combat potential. Specimen is now able to move quickly and swallow prey whole. June 30th, water temperature 22 degrees Celsius, pH level 6.2. Umbrella has officially shut down the gamma research. We managed to smuggle some specimens with especially high potential from the lab before disposal. Dr. Logan Carlisle is more committed than ever to perfecting the gamma line. August 14th, water temperature 25 degrees Celsius, pH level 5.8. 2 weeks since relocating to the sewers, increased temperatures have led to a decrease in water quality, but specimens appear fine despite my concerns. Gamma's quickly learned the layout of the sewers, and within 2 days we're exploring the entire underground of Raccoon City. All specimens are familiar with and friendly towards us, but I have procured high-powered weaponry as a safeguard in the event they ever become uncontrollable. September 1st, water temperature 23 degrees Celsius, pH 6.1. We were lucky to secure this place by bribing the sewage department chief, but it is beginning to feel cramped due to the gamma's continued growth. We should begin to consider other possible arrangements. September 9th, water temperature 21 degrees Celsius, pH level 6.1. A water treatment worker found his way into the lab, but the gammas promptly eliminated him. This proves their viability for field use. I'll reach out to Umbrella's European branch tomorrow. Perhaps they will see the light. Alright, dropping off the explosive powder and the hand grenade, neither of which is going to be useful for a little while, so there's no reason to keep it in my inventory. And now it is time to go avoid the Hunter Gamma one more time. He's still lingering around after we left him behind before, and just like before, we're going to go ahead and wait for him to go ahead and try to attack me. Whenever he lunges at me, I dodge backwards, and then I go ahead and run to the left. Once again, that is successful, and now I am taking a different path down the sewers. Along the way, there are going to be 2 parasite zombies that fall down into the water in front of me. I already have my shotgun ready by the time they hit the ground, so I can start shooting away at the parasites on their head. I end up killing one of the parasite zombies, but the other one survives by the time I end up running out of shotgun shells and I need to reload. Although I really can't spend any time reloading down here because there's always the possibility that one of the Hunter Gammas catches up to me. So I swap to the grenade launcher so that whenever the Hunter Gamma comes out of the sewage waterfall, I'm able to shoot and stun it. That left me with 1 flame round remaining, so I continued down the sewers until I ran into the next Hunter Gamma, which I used my final flame round on it to stun it. So I had just enough flame rounds to stun both of them. I run past the last Hunter Gamma, pick up some flame rounds after I get by him, and then I continue on to the lab at the very end of the sewer path. Inside of the lab is going to be a battery pack that is going to take up 2 inventory spaces, and we will be using that to open some locked doors. Also inside the lab is going to be some high-grade gunpowder, some regular gunpowder, a green herb, and inside of a locker that we can lockpick there's going to be some explosive powder A. I also find the next document in here. It's going to be titled A Love Letter. My little darlings. It's already been 3 months since we fled here together. I find myself thinking back to the day you hatched. Your little voices made me tremble with pride. Your adorable little bodies brimming with incredible destructive power. And of course your voracious, insatiable appetite. You are no less than the pinnacle of the Hunter series, and yet they ordered me to destroy you. They said you were unfit for use as weapons because of a few minor vulnerabilities. So what if you are susceptible to heat? So what if your delicate mandibles are exposed when you feed? Haven't they ever heard of character flaws? It is those very flaws that make you so very, very precious to me. But we'll show them yet. Down here, we will continue to walk this evolutionary path together. We'll prove to Umbrella that you, my beloved Hunter Gammas, are truly superior. I mean, I don't know about superior. I personally prefer the Hunters from the very first Resident Evil game myself, but hey, these guys are kind of cool too. Regardless though, it is time to backtrack through the sewer so I can open up a door with that new battery pack. Some of the Hunter Gammas that we saw previously have despawned, so even though I left them alive, I do not have to worry about them this time around. However, I still need to deal with that parasite zombie. So first things first, I go ahead and I take down the parasite zombie by hugging the wall over here and using the corner to my advantage, making sure the parasite zombie cannot attack me until it comes around the corner, and whenever it comes around the corner, my shotgun is ready to shoot the parasite zombie in the face. I also take a moment to collect some optional items down here. I combine gunpowder to make handgun ammunition, I pick up some shotgun shells, and I find the very next document. This document is going to be titled The Sewer Worker's Notes. It happened again. They got Kane this time. I saw it all. One of those things just swallowed him whole, head to toe. I tried to warn them when Bill went missing 2 weeks back. The cop said he probably just skipped town, but I said no way. Not with his baby coming any day. But did they listen? Nope. But this is bullshit. Fucking puke-breathing, toad-faced motherfuckers. Every time I think I've lost them, another one pops out of the tunnels. And it's not like I can count on the fucking cops. Don't trust those pencil pushers at HQ either. Next time one of those freaks shows its face, I'm gonna hit it right in its big ugly mouth. Okay, getting back on track, it's time to go ahead and face off against the Hunter Gammas. You'll notice that some of them have despawned since the very last time that I saw them, but there are still a few around here. And this is kind of a bad spot to try and dodge it because there is some debris to my left-hand side. So even if I do end up dodging it and then running to my left, I could still run into the obstacle or the debris, giving the hunter time to turn around and kill me. So yeah, I want to make sure it's a little bit further away before I try dodging it and running around it. Here is my moment, and I make it. Although we are not out of these sewers just yet because the Hunter Gamma that left behind by the safe room is still going to be there. And there is still going to be one more surprise Hunter Gamma down here somewhere as well. Although I deal with those by stunning them with the 2 flame rounds that we found earlier. Okay, that is one, and now here comes the second one hopping up onto the sewerway. It stuns me for a moment, but I still have time to shoot it and get by it before the other one recovers. And then I just dash into the ladder and suddenly we are done down there. That is not going to be the very last Hunter Gamma that we deal with down here though. Actually, even once we leave this location, there's still going to be one more spot where we find a Hunter Gamma, so yeah, there's going to be at least 2 more. I go ahead and I use the battery pack to open up this door and open up a new area, but I do need to go ahead and get that battery pack again so I can open up some new doors without locking myself out. Before I do that though, a Hunter Gamma hops up and then distracts me. I run away, unlock this door, and duck into it before it can catch up to me. And hey, wouldn't you know it, I found my way back to the battery pack. So I can now take that out and I have a way of getting back into that area without being locked out. Although the Hunter Gamma is still waiting for me on the other side of that door, I wait for a moment because his head will poke out just a little bit whenever it turns around. There it is. And whenever it turns around like that, it is hopping back down the rails. So I have a moment to run through here and get to this door before it hops back up to try and get me again. And then I can use the battery pack one more time, duck into this room and get through here to safety before it ever has the opportunity to catch up to me again. I collect all the items in here and I do basically the exact same thing as before. I wait for the Hunter Gamma to get tired of waiting for me and to hop back down those rails. This may be hard to hear in this video, but I'm listening to the music. Right now it is very tense and dramatic because of all the action that should be happening because of the Hunter Gamma, but eventually that goes away and it calms down. Once that music calms down, the Hunter Gamma has jumped back down that hole in the center of the rails, and then I am safe to go back outside. Now I need to trick that hunter because if I run straight, it's going to jump in front of me. However, if I walk sideways to the left, the Hunter Gamma is going to jump in the path to my left, trying to cut me off in that direction instead. So whenever it jumped into my path on the left, I could just run straight, and there is no way it will be able to catch up to me. Now here is a note that I should have read earlier that explains the whole mechanic behind finding the battery to open up the doors, but I've already done that, so no worries. We can now use the battery pack for the very last time and get out of these sewers.
Carlos, can you hear me now?
Jill. Oh, thank God. Everything okay?
Yeah, I'm alive. I lost him.
Great. The subway's ready to go. We'll leave as soon as you make it back.
Okay, it is time for another Nemesis chase, although this one is much easier than the previous one. In this one, 2 zombies are much more of a risk than Nemesis is.
Can you use weapons?
The first of those 2 zombies was the one that I shotgunned on the other side of that shutter door. Normally I wouldn't do that and I would just try to dodge it, but well, I kind of have a horror story that happened around here. And it is an especially horrific story because I am really close to my second save point. Because I mentioned previously to get to my very first ideal saving point, it took me about 6 hours to reach that point successfully. However here, whenever going from save point 1 to save point 2, I almost made it all the way to the second save point that I wanted to use in just a couple of attempts. However, the very last possible zombie that could catch me caught me, which is this very next zombie right up here. It caught me and then it killed me. So all the work that I had done no longer mattered even though I'm really close right now to the save point. And then I thought to myself, you know what, I got there pretty quickly, I'm sure I can do it again really soon. However, it took me about 8 hours to get to this point again. And that's all because of the previous Nemesis chase, which kind of got inconsistent for me there for a little while. So yeah, normally I would just want to dodge the zombies around here, but having wasted 8 hours of my life after dying previously, yeah, I am just going to shoot them now. But as you saw, I successfully shot that zombie, and I said it was the very last possible zombie that could stop me before reaching my next ideal saving point. So that means I am in the clear. As long as I keep running forward, I don't think there's any way that Nemesis can kill me around here. This is all pretty much just pageantry to set up the very next big battle with Nemesis. So even though this is supposed to be a very tense scene, I was very happy just jogging my way through this area knowing that I was successful and I was going to save and everything was going to be a-okay. Like I was saying, dramatic but no real threat. And now after climbing this ladder, we are at the next safe area, which is going to be my ideal second save point of the game. While I am up here, I'll go ahead and pick up the very next document, which is going to be a notice of demolition delay. We have decided to delay the Barnaby office building demolition in response to ongoing public unrest. For safety reasons, all electrical equipment, including generators, have been moved to the roof for safekeeping. Entry to the premises is prohibited until the current unrest has subsided. All employees are to stay at home and await further instructions. That document sets up the very next big battle with Nemesis, which is imminent. This is by far my most consistent fight with Nemesis. I run straight to the shotgun shells and then I run behind these pallets. Using those as cover, I run over to this locked case and I open it up to find some explosive rounds. I continue to use the pallets as cover, I pick up this green herb and then I run all the way to the end of the roof. Then the flamethrower overheats. Then I can cross the roof, pick up the red herb and the explosive rounds and hide behind another pile of pallets. Whenever Nemesis activates his flamethrower again, I stop and I listen to his footsteps. He has heavy feet and I wait until I hear the third footstep, and then I run to gather the last of the optional items. The flamethrower overheats, and then I can shoot the fuel backpack that he is wearing. It usually takes me 2 to 4 shotgun shells to make it explode, and once it explodes I run away. Once the shotgun is fully reloaded, I switch over to a hand grenade. I throw the hand grenade, wait for it to explode and stun him for a moment, and then it normally only takes shooting Nemesis with one more shotgun shell to make him explode again. I run to the further side of the roof, I focus my lightning hawk shot on Nemesis' chest. Whenever he stands up and starts moving, I shoot him in the chest. That staggers Nemesis long enough to switch to the hand grenades. I throw 2 of them. Those will take down Nemesis, but for fun I go ahead and switch to the combat knife and stab him a few times for good measure.
Carlos? It's Jill. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. You alright?
Yeah. Bastard's dead.
Good. Fuck him. What were you thinking? Turning yourself into bait. You could have been killed.
Don't start. I did what I had to.
I know. And thanks. The subway's ready to go. Hurry back.
So yeah, that was my most consistent boss battle, and if I could do it all over again, I'd probably wait to save until after that boss battle. That would leave me saving inside of Kendo's gun shop, which is going to be our very next stop. There are going to be a few hazards along the way though, so I need to go ahead and clear them out, one of which is going to be this parasite zombie crawling on the ground. I go ahead and I start shooting it from atop this fire truck. While I'm up here, it won't be able to hit me. After it's down, I go ahead and start making my way to the parking garage of the Raccoon City Police Department. We can't actually go inside the parking garage, but there is going to be an item just beyond its gate that I want to have. It is going to be inside of a case, and it's going to be some high-grade gunpowder. Like I mentioned towards the very beginning of this playthrough, I want to have as many Magnum rounds as I possibly can. Back on the streets of Raccoon City, though, there's going to be one more parasite zombie just kind of lumbering around. I always try to identify which side of the road he is on, that way I can run to the opposite. If the parasite zombie is somewhere in the middle of the road, he does not intend to stay there, he's usually going to one side or the other, so I try to guess which side he's going to, and then I go to the opposite. If you can successfully avoid him, you can basically just run straight into Kendo's gun shop unopposed. Which is exactly what happens here. And I get to return to a familiar location from Resident Evil 2 when Leon and Ada got to meet Kendo. And speaking of the tragic gunsmith, let's go ahead and say hello.
Don't move! Shit, chill.
Kendo, you're all right.
Yeah, all right's a stretch. Sorry, I got a little jumpy there. Didn't know quite what to expect.
No shit. Look, we're using the subway to get people out of town. You in?
Subway. Well, that's good thinking.
When we get out, there's gonna be a lot to do. We could use a man of your skill set. What's wrong?
Nothing. Just bad timing is all. Yeah. Look, don't worry about me. I'm gonna make other arrangements, okay?
You better. You're the best gunsmith around.
Oh, no.
Don't do anything stupid.
Oh, that's your job, right? Take care, Jill.
I go ahead and grab the key to the alleyway and leave Kendo, that way he can meet Leon and Ada tomorrow in the events of Resident Evil 2. I make use of the storage box, go ahead and pick up a few healing items while dropping off a bunch of other stuff. The main thing I want to make sure that I withdraw though is going to be the flash grenade. I mentioned towards the beginning of the game that I was going to be holding on to that for a while, because it was going to be very important. Well, that time has finally come. Before leaving the gun shop though, I'll go ahead and pick up 2 gunpowders, and I also pick up an upgrade to the shotgun, which is going to be a semi-auto barrel. Similar to the extended magazine for the handgun, whenever you apply this to the shotgun, it acts like a full reload. It does not pull any ammunition from your reserves, it basically just pulls it out of thin air and fully reloads your weapon. That is why I am not going to apply it immediately, and I am going to wait until I am very low on ammo and need to reload. Then I will combine the 2 of them, that way I'm not wasting any of my other shotgun ammo. I am already starting to deplete some of the ammunition now, shooting these parasite zombies in the legs to get by them, although I do go out of my way to make sure this parasite zombie is fully dead, because I want to go upstairs and collect some more items. One of which is going to be a document titled Raccoon Times Reader's Column. Dear Editor, I'm writing you because I am troubled, deeply troubled. Anyone who's been a parent knows that Crystal Promenade is the place to take your kids for a trip downtown on Saturdays. And there's no store more popular or harder on a parent's wallet than Toy Uncle. However, I've noticed that on windy days, the big statue above the entrance wobbles like the only thing holding it up is a couple of screws. If that statue's head tumbles loose on a busy day, children will be badly hurt. I've complained to the manager 3 times now, but he just isn't willing to rectify the situation. Are we supposed to wait for a terrible accident to happen before taking action? No. If heads are going to roll, then let it be the managers. Take that death trap down. From Timothy Wiles, age 69. So yeah, statue's head tumbling loose one day? Go ahead and consider that some foreshadowing. I lockpick this container and grab some explosive rounds before taking off outside the building. Also, because my shotgun shells are already pretty low at the moment and I kind of need to reload, I go ahead and add the new barrel. So now I'm fully reloaded up to the new max capacity of 6 rounds. And also I go ahead and equip that flash grenade because it is finally time.
Rocket launcher? Really?
Don't move when the laser first turns red, wait to hear the rocket being fired and then move. And then whenever you make it around the corner, go ahead and throw that flash grenade. It's going to stun Nemesis. And that buys you enough time to shotgun these zombies in the legs, which is a little bit harder than it sounds. Then around the corner, you're going to find another zombie coming out of the fire. Go ahead and shotgun that one too. And then keep running. Around this time, Nemesis will catch up to you, so be ready to dodge. And then continue down the alleyway. Don't worry about any of the zombies on the other side of the fence. They're not going to do anything to you.
Carlos, that monster's on my ass again.
Are you shitting me? I thought you killed it.
Me too.
I always run alongside the cars, and the first 2 rockets always seem to miss Jill, but the third one can hit her, so be prepared to dodge that third one. Okay, I get a little bit of a breather after getting rocketed over that barricade. I go ahead and break this open and grab the first aid spray. Now I start making my way up the scaffolding to try and get back onto the roof. It's going to be the exact same roof walkway that we were on at the very beginning of the game. The one that connects us to Moon's Donuts and the storage building. And once we're on that roof, Jill gets to have a conversation with Carlos.
Jill, you there? I think I know how to slow that fucker down. Head back towards the station.
And lead him right to you?
It's okay. Trust me.
So yeah, I don't necessarily think this is the hardest chase scene in the entire game, but it's definitely the one that killed me the most because it took me a while to figure it out. Everything that I've been doing up to this point was very calculated after dying many, many times.
This is insane.
Damn it, Timothy Wiles, why did your foreshadowing have to be correct? So okay, I run away from the rolling statue head of doom and I go ahead and duck into this corner. Now just like I was talking about before, a lot of trial and error went into this, but I eventually found a good tactic for avoiding Nemesis in this next part, and after I finally figured it out, this became a lot more consistent. Nemesis drops on the ground, shoot the generator and stun him, then run away. Don't run away immediately or he chases you and he's harder to dodge. If you stun him, he starts shooting at you with the rocket launcher and that's much easier to dodge. When you reach the top of the steps, he's going to jump in front of you. When he takes one step, dodge. Run towards the gate, dash through it, and then follow Carlos.
Jill, this way! You okay? Go. Go!
Come on, forget about it!
Come on, let's get out of here.
Alright, we did it. The chase is over, and now we're free to get all the way back to the subway and then transition characters to Carlos. Which, playing as Carlos at the Raccoon City Police Department offered a bunch of challenges for me to figure out as well, so I'm kind of looking forward to covering that.
Carlos, I know we didn't get off to a great start, but thanks for the save.
Hey, you saved my ass first. You're a hell of a lot braver than me.
Well, what matters is that we can get everyone out of the city now.
Yeah. Hey, you'll be safe.
What about you?
From the sound of it, I won't be catching the train.
Why not?
No, there'll be new orders. If it means I can help save the city, it's fine by me.
Good work. Your reputation is well deserved. Get inside. The subway's about to leave. Carlos, Tyrell, you have your orders. You need to go back out into the city and find Nathaniel Bart.
This isn't the last ride out of town, right?
Do not worry. Once the civilians are safe, the train will be back.
It's all right, you're going ahead. I'm not gonna die on you, leave you in a cold, cruel, Carlosless world.
Okay.
You'll need to find this scientist. His vaccine research could save us all.
You see? You're learning. The only life that matters is your own.
Good luck. Let's go.
You don't really think a pencil pusher like Barrett is still alive, do you?
I have it on good authority. Why? Are you worried about teammates? Or something else? Funny how brainless zombies can ambush a platoon like that. Funny the gate was locked. Don't you think?
What was that? How is this fucker not dead yet?
Just know they're gone. Come, this way.
Nikolai, what are you doing?
It's not after you.
Nikolai!
Get off my train, shitbird!
Oh, it's been a while. Subway's got to be clear of the city by now.
Along with your hot date?
Nah, she's not like that. Hell, she's not like anybody.
All right, keep your head screwed on, Romeo. This is the police station.
You sure? It looks like a cemetery to me. Brad, stop! T.
Come on, man. Not you too. Sorry.
Shit, it's locked. You stay on the door. I got this fucker. Come get some.
Yeah, come get some as I run away. Brad leaves Tyrell alone, so he's going to be fine. I do like the change that they made in this remake, including the detail that Brad was the one who infected Marvin, something we never really got an explanation for in Resident Evil 2. I really like that connection.
Somebody didn't have time to put his blues on.
No worries, Leon is going to find the Blues uniform later. For now, let's go ahead and focus on the next document. This one is titled Email Outbox. Sender Lucy Yin. Subject Disposal Complete. Department in chaos after spread of infection. Multiple citizens taking refuge here are infected. All files related to you successfully disposed of. Awaiting further orders. Sender Lucy Yin. Subject Ongoing developments. Sent September 27, 3:05 a.m. Communications intercepted from S Hospital on STAR's private communications line. Presumed to be evac request from B. Possible he will flee the hospital and come here. Request UBCS dispatch. I will evacuate with their assistance. Sender Lucy Yin. Subject evacuation request. Sent September 27th, 11:54 p.m. Requested evac has not yet arrived. This position is becoming untenable. I remained here with the condition my safety would be guaranteed. If I am left here to die, I will distribute proof of collusion and corruption between you and Raccoon City civic leaders. You have 1 hour to deliver a response.
Oof. You look better in the poster, Brad.
Brad will not leave the police station courtyard, so we don't have to worry about being followed by him. Whenever I go back to the courtyard, though, I do try to run by Brad whenever he's still docile. But he can sometimes catch Carlos whenever I try to run by him, which is basically a death. This time, though, I managed to get by him pretty easily and go into the police station.
Where'd that cop go?
Don't know, don't care. We got a job to do. Our intel's still worth a damn, then Bard's in the STAR's office. Let's find him and take him into custody.
Custody? I thought this was a rescue.
Carlos, take a look at this. I've located the STARS office. Remember, Bard had access to Umbrella's darkest secrets. He knows we'll try to keep him under our thumbs.
So this search and rescue mission is really more like find and detain. Right. Good to know.
I'll open the shutter so you can get through.
You stay here and find out what's been going on here at the station.
Call you if I find anything. Hey! Be careful.
Yeah. You too, man.
I went out of my way to find Brad's ID card so I could badge into these cases which contain some useful items. I do that now to get an upgrade to the assault rifle, but yeah, this section of the game with Carlos, it is one of my favorite parts of the game because it gives little explanations for how certain things happened in the police station before Leon and Claire arrived back in RE2. Now that the red dot scope is attached, let's go ahead and check one of those out.
What the hell was that thing?
Well, now we know for sure that the corpses in this hallway got wrecked by a licker just before we arrived and explored it back in RE2. And that licker is going to be part of a big problem that I had in this section of the game. First though, I need to shoot the zombie in the leg until it is stunned. Then I run by and this is going to be the problem area. So what I came up with after dying a bunch is that I need to stand in the back right corner of the square on the ground. Standing there means both the licker that's going to break through the window and the doors that are going to be thrown open by a zombie are going to miss Carlos. So he is not going to get hurt or stunned. Then just as the zombie recovers from breaking through the doors, have Carlos elbow and stun him. Then you can run into the conference room, no problem. Speaking of Carlos elbowing the zombie, Carlos cannot dodge like Jill can. Instead, using the same button has Carlos striking the enemies. Normally that's going to be an elbow, but striking perfectly does a follow-up punch that sends enemies flying. So alright, that's all the build-up, let's go ahead and see how this goes. I stand on the spot on the floor to avoid the licker and the zombie, I elbow the zombie, and then I run safely into the conference room. That may have looked easy, but I'm pretty sure I died there more than anywhere else in this police station.
T, you copy? There's something real nasty in here. I don't know what it is.
Something nasty. Alright. I'll take a look with the cameras. Watch your six.
So yeah, I managed to get that whole licker going through the window and zombie coming through the doors thing pretty consistent. This next part though is still really inconsistent for me. What I absolutely need to do is kill every single zombie in the hallway. I do that by using the door as a buffer between them and Carlos. I will kill or hurt as many of them as I can before they get too close. Then I will just back up and let the door shut. Inevitably, these zombies are going to break in. By then, I am cornered inside this room, and things can go wrong pretty quickly if too many of them end up surrounding me. As a result of that, I can get some pretty mixed results in here. But the game plan is going to be to just kill as many of them as I can inside the hallway, duck back into this room, and try picking them off as they go through the door. Now if they are beating on the door, I always aim to the top right corner of the door. Whenever they manage to break in, that's exactly where their head is going to be positioned, so that is basically going to line me up for free headshots. Whenever killing all the zombies on this occasion, I end up getting pretty lucky. I barely end up surviving because at one point a zombie tries to grab Carlos and I just managed to pull off a perfect punch on that zombie. So I end up punching him into oblivion, but that probably should have been a death. I just got really lucky. And at this point, I'm just going around to all the zombies on the ground and slashing them with a combat knife just to make sure they are really dead, not going to just stand up later on and grab me from behind and bite my neck. That would have been a really crappy and preventable way to die. Finally, inside of the hallway, I find that pretty much every single zombie was killed inside that room, so there's not really too much for me to do inside of here. Although there is one zombie on the ground, so I go ahead and slash at it just to make sure it is dead. Then I focus on the other two at the very end of the hallway by a crate because I want some extra ammunition. I get really lucky right off the bat getting a critical shot that just makes the zombie's head explode, although that does alert the other one and cause it to stand up and come after me. Although the luck continues because after just a few shots, I end up getting another critical shot, so another head explosion. So we have 2 head explosions and a really lucky critical punch. And around this time, whenever I was actually playing the game, I thought to myself, this has to be the attempt that's successful. I'm getting way too much luck right now. I mean, whenever breaking open that crate, there was a green herb inside of it instead of some more ammunition, which is not as useful for Carlos, but still, things are going pretty well. This is the very last zombie in the hallway, so I'm trying to take it out with a combination of just using the combat knife and maybe a little bit of handgun ammo. I have already used plenty of the assault rifle ammunition, I'm really not trying to use any more for a little while. After I am done with that zombie, I go into the west side office and I open up another one of those cases with Brad's ID card. Inside of there is going to be some assault rifle ammunition, which is a pretty good start to replenishing my supply. We can also find more handgun ammo in the side office, so overall my ammunition is getting replenished. Also inside that office is going to be a safe that we can open. The combination is going to be the exact same one from Resident Evil 2. That is going to be 9-15-7. And inside the safe is going to be a pouch to extend our inventory by 2 spaces. Even though we do not spend too much time playing as Carlos, we definitely want the extra inventory space, especially to collect as much ammo as we can, because there is going to be a part in this game when Carlos needs all the ammunition he can possibly carry.
Yeah. Welcome, Leon. Bet you had a kick-ass first day.
And here is going to be the next document titled September 20 Arrest Report. Name Rodney Gray, occupation unemployed, former electrician. Charges unlawful creation and possession of explosives. Narrative. Suspect was seen behaving suspiciously at 1442 Box Street on September 18, 1998. Suspect's person was searched, producing a small explosive and a time detonator from his inside pocket, leading to arrest on the charges listed above. A search of the suspect's home found more than 20 additional homemade explosives at various stages of completion. Suspect was extremely agitated and not of sound mind. Suspect spoke feverishly when questioning began. At one point, questioning had to be halted due to a sudden bout of shrieking from suspect. Once questioning was resumed, suspect made the following statements. "I didn't do it for me, I did it for you. Why doesn't anyone understand? The corpses attack from the shadows. A storm's coming, but this umbrella is no good. Gotta blow it up or you'll be more than just wet. Gotta get more bombs. They're coming, soon. Gotta hurry. Burn 'em. Burn the corpses. Burn 'em good." During questioning, the suspect began to shake violently before resuming a shrieking fit. Questioning was ended and a sedative was administered. Note: due to suspect's unstable psychiatric condition, suspect's testimony changed from moment to moment. Suspect's delirium made any sort of dialogue impossible. We are currently awaiting the result of a doctor's investigation into suspect's condition. The explosives collected from suspect's person and residence appear to be extremely powerful. As a safety precaution, a battery was removed from one detonation device upon admission into evidence. The battery was secured in the safety deposit room. Interrogating Officer Wes Drucker. And alright, cool, that document foreshadows that there are going to be some explosives somewhere in this police station that we need to get our hands on, that way we can use them. And we also need to get the battery from one of these safety deposit boxes inside the evidence room. But before we can do that, we need to find the key that opens up the evidence room, so now we're off to go find that. Which I am making a pretty fast stop inside of the film development room, that way I can pick up an assortment of ammunition and a red herb. Now the key that we need that is going to be able to open up the evidence room, we are going to find that after traveling all the way to the very top of the staircase on the 3rd floor.
Carlos, the STARS office is up ahead.
Copy that.
We are also going to take down a few zombies and pick up a few items along the way. This is going to be the very first one. There are 2 zombies, both of which are going to be lying on the ground. That gives me an opportunity to go ahead and get a few free shots against them. So I take my time, I focus my shot while they're on the ground, making sure I get a headshot, and then I just try to get as many headshots as I can as they get to their feet. Whenever they're standing, go ahead and run away, and at a distance I will continue to try and get those headshots until they are dead. I also make sure to use my handgun ammo instead of my assault rifle ammo. I want to conserve as much of the assault rifle ammunition as I can. And okay, here is zombie number 2. You will also see the key is right beside me. I deliberately wait to grab the key because I believe whenever you grab that, it activates the zombie. So instead I go ahead and take a few free shots on the zombie. That way I get to do as much uncontested damage to it as possible. And in this scenario, whenever the zombie does get to its feet and come after Carlos, whenever I retreat and turn around, I just barely get a glimpse of the zombie falling all the way down the staircase. I love it when that happens. That is also a thing that would happen in Resident Evil 2, and it always made me laugh whenever I saw that. So with that zombie all the way at the bottom of the staircase, I go ahead and grab that key and I run over to a locker. That way I can open it and get the item inside. The combination to the locker is the exact same one that it was back in Resident Evil 2. That is going to be the letters DCM. After opening that and grabbing the ammunition inside, I go ahead and run back down the stairs, cautiously looking for the zombie that fell down there. Eventually, after taking my time going around the corners and seeing if he's around, I do eventually find that zombie and I go ahead and take him down. I also make sure to continue using the handgun, that way I'm only using that ammunition. That assault rifle ammunition is not going to be super important here in the police station, but this is not the only time we are going to be playing as Carlos. Later in the game, whenever we take control of Carlos for a second time, there's going to be a really challenging part where I want as much assault rifle ammunition as possible. Okay, inside the locker room is going to be our next document. It's going to be titled Note to a Friend. And it says, Hector, if you're reading this, I'm already dead. If you hear any noises coming from the locker, do not open it. Please. While you were out on patrol, I focused on finding a way to get to the other side. I realized that explosives might be our best bet. I managed to rig up a pretty good bomb, but we don't have any batteries for the detonator. I'm pretty sure I sent one to the safety deposit room during the intake last week. We need that battery if we're going to knock this wall down. So I headed upstairs to find you since I know you have the safety deposit room key. As soon as I left the shower room, I was attacked. One of them bit me. I washed the wound as best I could, but I feel worse and worse. I hope I don't need to spell out why you must not open the locker. Please don't worry about me, just get yourself out of here as fast as you can. Your buddy Wes. P.S. Don't worry about that $600 I lent you. Think of it as a gift towards your upcoming move. Good luck, buddy. Alright, I'll go ahead and open up the locker that does not have Wes inside of it. It is going to have a combination lock, and the combination is going to be CAP. Inside the locker is going to be a flash grenade, and we want as many of them as possible because they're just going to be very useful whenever you are Carlos. Those two police officers were trying to use an explosive in order to reach the other side of the wall in the locker room. Then they would be able to reach exactly where I want to go, which is going to be the STARS office. So with that key, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the safety deposit room, pick up that battery, and knock down that wall. First, I need to slowly walk by the liquor and go straight to the door, unlock it, and then go right through it. I'm going to alert the liquor, but I should be able to go through the door in time before it's able to attack me. And wow, okay, that was way closer than I was expecting it to be, but hey, we're here, we're alive, and I got to punch a liquor in the face, so hey. We're doing alright here, Carlos. Do not worry about a thing, we are going to be alright. So we are in the safety deposit room. We're going to go ahead and open up those lockers. The numbers for the lockers are going to be 109, 106, and 104. 104 is going to be the locker that has the item that we need. That's going to be the battery. Everything else is optional, but I want all the items I can get, especially the hand grenade. There is going to be a zombie at the very back of the safety deposit room. It's on the ground, and he ends up going to the ground pretty quickly. I go ahead and use my knife to try and finish the job, and he ends up grabbing me, and in real time, I really thought this was going to kill me. I'm actually really surprised it didn't. Somehow I managed to button mash hard enough for me to escape. I am not thrilled that I have to go ahead and heal as Carlos. I want as many healing items as possible, and it's kind of a bummer wasting a healing item whenever it was such a preventable situation. But I'm alive. That's good enough for me. Let's keep going. So the reason I targeted that zombie before picking up the battery inside the locker is because whenever you do pick up that battery, it activates an event where a zombie starts breaking through the door. And if you let that happen, it's really easy to get sandwiched between the two zombies, and that's a really bad spot to be. I would much rather there only be the one zombie breaking through the door, that way I can just basically run around the lockers to avoid it. And okay, that zombie is here, and it turns out it's going to be the return of zombie Brad Vickers. He is very persistent, and he really wants to track down Carlos. I go ahead and use the lockers to go ahead and avoid him and run around the room and go through the door without having to confront him. I slow down as I go through the door to make sure the lickers are not alerted. But yeah, even if I took the time to kill Brad Vickers whenever he was still out in the courtyard, he still pops up here, so that changes absolutely nothing. I'm also going to go ahead and walk by this licker as quietly as I can until I'm right in front of the staircase, then I just go ahead and run because I'm going to make it up those stairs before the licker ever has an opportunity to smack me. And once you are on the staircase, it's not going to pursue you anymore.
Carlos, I've hit a dead end with the terminal here. Gotta head your way.
Copy that.
And okay, it's time to go ahead and knock down the wall. I went ahead and made sure that I had the flash grenade equipped. You're going to see why in just a moment.
Gotta move.
Wait until the last second and then throw the flash grenade to stun every single zombie in the area, then run through, go to the bench, pick up the assault rifle ammunition. As you do that, the palehead zombie is going to break through the door. Go ahead and immediately strike it. I almost always get a perfect strike whenever that happens, and it also knocks all the zombies to the ground. I run through the door, avoid the licker, and after doing that, you basically are free all the way to the STARS office.
Dr. Bard.
Oh, thank God. Do you know how long I've been trying to reach somebody?
Don't worry, we're gonna get you out of there. Just tell me where you are.
I'm trapped in a goddamn hospital, surrounded by every kind of abomination. Look, just send in STARS. They're gonna know what to do.
No, negative. RPD's overrun too.
Then figure it out! Umbrella's gone crazy. They're killing all the researchers. I am the only one who knows how to make the vaccine to stop the zombies. So you can either sit there with your dick in your hand or send somebody who's capable of getting me the hell out of here.
I like him already.
Yeah, you would. You heard what he said. We can't turn him over to the company.
That's not our call to make. That's Mikhail's call. I'm gonna check the computer, see if I can trace the doc's location. This'll take some time. Look around, see if you can find anything useful.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take his advice and pick up every single item in this room. I'm going to also open up this case and pick up the items inside of it. This will be the very last time that we use Brad's ID card. And while I'm picking up all the items in this area, this is going to be the very end of Carlos's segment of the game, although it's not going to be the very last time that we play as him. And I'll go ahead and start wrapping up the episode here. So immediately after this, we're going to transition back to Jill, who was just in that subway accident. We're going to see what the aftermath of that was like for her, and then we're going to escape through the tunnels. Then things are only going to escalate from there.
Yeah, what's up? Derailed. Was anyone hurt?
Jill?
Ah, shit. Wait, what? Jill! Jill, what happened? Jill, come in! T, I gotta go.
Do what you gotta. I'll take care of Bart.
And off Carlos goes to see what exactly happened to Jill, and we're going to be seeing that for ourselves in the very next episode. Also, in the midst of all that, eventually we're going to be going after Dr. Nathaniel Bard, who may have a vaccine for the virus. So yeah, there's going to be a lot happening in the very next episode. Until then, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, feel free to check out the other things I have on the Thor's Entertainment channel. I do have plenty of other Resident Evil stuff, having played through the remakes of Resident Evil 1 and 2 already. And then I have playthroughs of other games as well, like Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, a bunch of Mortal Kombat games, and Crash Bandicoot. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, feel free to check it out. No matter what you decide to do though, just thank you for checking out the video and sticking around this long. Take care, and hopefully I will see you next time.